Welcome to CSS Studios. We are Fertility House. The shops are closed, the night is late, and I can't fall asleep. I lie in bed remembering how I squandered my spring. The nights are getting colder, and we're all getting older. No one seems to care that you're coming home. The anchorman poses. Could this be the end? But who gives a fuck about all of this stuff when Memphis is waiting for life to begin? The shops are closed, the night is late, and I can't fall asleep. The anchorman poses. Could this be the end? But who gives a fuck about all of this stuff when Memphis is waiting for life to begin? Say how I feel, so I put it in a letter. My tongue always fails me, but it will suit me better. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Far apart, but something holds us together. Two stars in a constellation, reaching out forever. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Andromeda, something to confess. I want to be more for you. You say no, but not less. You'll hold my hand, you'll hold my affection. Our love's not perfect, but what a lovely imperfection. I can wait for the timing to be right. Oh yeah, I'll wait. Don't consult my calendar, you can pick the date. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa. If you come around, you only have to say my name. Call me Polaris, my position will remain. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Andromeda, I have something to confess. I want to be more for you. You say no, but not less. You'll hold my hand, you'll hold my affection. Our love's say it's headed nowhere. It's been nice knowing you in Andromeda. Best of luck, I'm out of here. Andromeda, I have something to confess. I want to be more for you. You say no, but not less. You'll hold my hand, you'll hold my affection. Our love's not perfect, but what a lovely imperfection. Yeah, that was a couple of songs, Benghazi and Andromeda. They're coming up on an album that we're going to release at some point in time. But this next one's called Houdini, and we're releasing the single next Friday, the 2nd. So here we go. Bombs over Baghdad, and I'm just drunk enough. Never mind, I'm faded, not something I'm proud of. Hold the railing, it's your friend. Take a taxi down the street. The beats are bumping, bumping. Why waste the summer heat? A Monday to remember. 3 bumps into zip. Run the list of DNCs. Lounge with the elephant. Say what you need. Now what you mean. Surprising things on what they seem. And I'm no savior, but I can bring you relief. And in the morning, pack my stuff and leave. Wake and wonder whatever happened. We are the dark, like grown people do. This was almost perfect, except for that one part. Scuttle a dock ship before it's made a start. Forget the times, forgotten crimes, and fraternize with friends of mine. I'm no savior, but I can bring you relief. And in the morning, pack my stuff and leave. Wake and wonder whatever happened. In the dark, we are the dark, like grown people. Thank you. All right, this is our last one. We got one more. This one's called Suburban Goddess. It's such a scandal and such a novel fashion. The man down the street, yeah, the one you never met. Wait till you hear about his harlot. Oh, oh, oh. People never grow up. Oh, oh, oh. Can you really blame them? Oh, oh, oh. Suburbs, bloody suburbs. Fake people with fake friends. Monday through Sunday, you think before you speak. So that I got out of this town. Monday through Sunday, you keep telling stories. Sun up to sundown, you relive your glory. Tell me, almighty, why do you care at all? I gotta know. I gotta know. Thank you very much. We've been Fertility House, and this is CSS Studios.
Part.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello, welcome back to CSS Studios, StudioCast. You guys want to introduce yourselves? Yeah, no?
I feel like you should go first.
Oh,
okay.
table.
Yeah, I'm Sean. I do some playing and lead vocals.
I'm Dan, and I do guitar.
I'm Daniel, and I play drums.
I'm Tom, and I play bass.
Cool. And you guys want to talk about a little bit about the band, I guess? How you guys got together? Or
Funny story.
Yeah, we all met on Craigslist, which is cool.
These are the personals.
Yeah.
Looking for a relationship.
Yeah. I'm
Interrupting the universe.
And, like,
Ways of the
coincidentally, we
universe.
all played music too. So
Yeah. So we decided we might as well form a band.
we're not still dating, but we are still a band.
It's a rough breakup. But
Yeah, it was tough.
No, I moved here from Indianapolis and didn't really know anyone.
Well, to Austin, not San Antonio, right?
Yeah, I moved to Austin. I
Austin.
moved to Austin,
They
Texas.
actually came all the way to the studio from Austin.
It's
which is
true,
pretty-
but I
pretty
moved.
sweet.
I moved from Indy to Austin, and didn't really know anyone, so I just kind of put out a Craigslist ad. Dan replied first. Tom didn't actually reply. I was in another band, and he liked the page of the band I was in, so I stalked him out, and I was like, "Hey, I saw that you play bass and like my band's page. Would you like to be in this other band
Well,
with me?"
I was gonna reach out to him, but I don't like taking the lead on these things. You know?
So he dropped a hint, and
and he picked it up.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
you know,
I-
Good.
I was such a fan.
I'm in a band, you're in a band.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a different band.
Band together.
And then Daniel, I met him on Craigslist as well. Actually, I sent Daniel our stuff, and then he replied to the link again about the band like a week later.
I didn't even realize
and
this.
I was just like, I saw that he'd emailed already, like from the name, and I was like, I mean, I emailed you these tracks like demos like a week ago, but I guess I can give them to you again. And he listened to them. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, if this is what we're doing, yeah, I definitely want to try it out. He's like, I didn't even see him
I guess
last
I didn't check
time.
my
It's probably
spam
hard to
folder.
get a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Doesn't
really.
show how interested he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, so we did meet on Craigslist.
I was actually under the impression that Aaron was in your guys' band, but it turns out that Aaron's
Oh,
just your
yeah.
friend.
Yeah, that's how I met Johnny at a Friendsgiving.
Yeah,
Oh.
Friendsgiving. That's like Thanksgiving for friends.
Well, it brings people closer together.
Well, and
Yeah.
I know what that means, but two portmanteaus are not particularly tricky to figure out.
I guess it's part of the very nature, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of their thing.
how's the turkey?
I actually,
There was no turkey.
yeah, there wasn't turkey.
Oh.
I mean,
It was
That's
a little
pretty weak.
non-traditional.
yeah,
That's
it was good though. I found out about the gorilla suit, so
Oh.
yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
We had
about the gorilla
Ratatouille,
suit.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at that. Wait, so you have a gorilla suit?
No, I don't, but it's supposed to be a fetish of mine, but it's not.
But it's not.
That's probably just put you landing you in a few awkward
Yeah.
situations.
You could say that.
Oh man, it's getting pretty hot in here. We might have to turn the AC on. I don't know. We'll see. So if it gets noisy, that's why.
yeah.
Well, I really liked your set, and since this is a studio, we usually start out talking about gear because
Yeah.
I'm kind of a gear whore. I really just want to start out talking about your bass because I've been eyeballing it all night. It's pretty amazing.
It's a Rickenbacker 4003. I picked it up when I lived up in Chicago a few years back, and then I had a friend of mine up there who's a luthier, make the walnut pick guards and truss rod covers. So
Is that actually wood then?
yeah, it is.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
I thought it was just like colored plastic.
No, so yeah, it came with the traditional like white plastic and kind of looked a little
Oh, yeah.
tacky, I thought, and so yeah, I had this guy make up some things out of wood, and it's my favorite bass. It's very nice.
It's awesome. I've always really liked Rickenbackers, and I really want to save up for one in studio, but I keep spending money on studio gear like preamps and stuff like that.
Which is totally fair. Yeah, no, the thing's got a ton of character. Probably too much character for some things, but
it's been one of the few times that guys bring in a bass that I'm actually like, yeah, use your own bass. Because there's been times in the past when people come to the studio, I'm like, maybe you should use one of mine. But like, you mean my Ibanez Geo bass isn't good? I'm like, no, I mean it's not bad, but
I changed the strings once like 5 years ago. And I tuned it last May.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the bass that I have in my house, Ibanez Geo.
Really?
You need a battery to play it. Like, you need to put a 9-volt in the back of it.
My first guitar was an Ibanez Geo series thing.
My first, I had a guitar of it actually. I still have it. Some of they're covered in last stickers. But yeah, I think that was a lot of people's first guitars. The Geos.
Yeah, I like
those. For the money, they're really not that bad. They're not horrible, but
I like fundraised. I fundraised to go on this church trip. Like, so we sold candy bars like to fund the trip, so your parents don't have to pay for all of it. And like the trip was like only $100, and like I saved up the money, and I was expecting to go, and the pastor was just like, yeah, unfortunately, like, we're all booked up, so you can't go now. And my parents were like livid about that. They were like, what? But I was just like, he's like, but you get the $100, and I was like, oh hell yeah. So like, I took that $100 and I bought my first guitar. So I'm glad I didn't go to church camp that year.
It marked Sean's first experience with disillusionment, establishment religion.
We don't need to talk about that.
Okay, well, what are you playing on guitar then? We'll go around the table.
So I just got an Epiphone Sheridan. Again, I had one before moving to Austin, and I sold it off because I wasn't really playing it that much, and I honestly was almost done playing musically entirely and thought about selling off the rest of it, but then again through Craigslist met my friends, and so I've been reaccumulating gear, so I repurchased the Epiphone Sheridan again.
Nice.
I think it's a beautiful guitar, and it sounds great, but then other than that I usually play a Fender Jaguar.
Oh, awesome. How do you feel about the Epiphone? Like, I know a lot of people give Epiphones shit for being not Gibsons, but honestly, the two Epiphones that I have are more of some of the higher end Epiphones, and I think they are right up there with the Gibsons.
Yeah,
especially now with the quality.
I think a lot of it, if you're gonna buy a Gibson,
you're paying for the name a lot.
You're paying for the name. I think. There are certain features, I guess. Like they might have a longer lasting intonation once you set it. I don't really know. I've not looked at the numbers. Maybe something about a Gibson is better, but I've never really directly observed it.
I mean, I think it comes down to quality control a lot.
Yeah.
But
I think that too.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if you play it before you buy it,
you can,
exactly. Through its paces, then you can get a high quality instrument for just way less money.
Yeah, exactly. I actually bought one. I bought a different one, and it showed up, and the warp was crazy necked. The neck was crazy warped. The warp was necked. Oh, the hell! The neck was crazy warped, so I sent it back. The guy who sold it to me was super, super kind, and was just like, "Oh, I didn't know, and I'm so sorry." Full refund and all that. So it was really nice. But then I bought this one from a guy actually in San Antonio, and it's got nothing wrong with it as far as I can tell. So I'm very satisfied with that. Yeah, that's the weakest link. That said, I don't think Les Pauls by Epiphone are very good, but their hollow bodies are pretty great in my experience. Particularly the Sheridan. It's obviously my favorite one. But
I have the Epiphone DOT Studio, I think.
Yeah.
And I liked the build of it and everything. The only thing I didn't like were the electronics, and I switched them out, which I would have done probably anyway. So after that, it's I love it. It's awesome. Yeah,
that's part of the problem, I would say, is usually, the electronics, they can all play very nicely, but you got to swap out some parts. I don't have any problem with the Sheridan electronics. Maybe if I get better.
That's one of the higher end ones, though.
It is, yeah. It's I would say a mid-level guitar.
Yeah.
There are some professionals that play them.
Doesn't the guy from Silver Sun Pickups play it?
I know actually a lot of guys in indie bands play them. I don't want to get into names, but I know a lot of guys that
you don't want to out them or anything.
Yeah, I don't want to call them out for playing an inferior product when they could buy a 335.
Right. What about amp? What amp are you running?
Right now, the Fender Blues Junior. I love it.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty affordable. I had a Vox AC30 before, and it was just too loud. Like you couldn't,
Really?
in my opinion, like you couldn't get a good tone unless you were playing a lot louder than I want to play. But the Blues Junior, it's only 15 watts, so you can get a pretty good tone out of it at a pretty low volume and not do a lot of damage to your ears.
Definitely, yeah.
If I did anything to that, I might change the speaker at some point. But
Really? What's in there right now? Is it the Fender speaker?
It's just whatever the stock speaker that came with it. But like again, I don't really have any problems with it. I enjoy how it sounds. So
yeah. It sounded good on the recording.
If I bought anything, it would be just out of narcissism. I'd probably buy like an old Jensen speaker to say I had like a 70s era Jensen or something in there, and not because I have an issue with the speaker. It would just be
because you just want to feel.
It would just be
it
would just be to be cool, have some vintage gear in my modern equipment. So
yeah, and pedals.
I don't really use any pedals for this project. I've got not a lot. I've got some at home. Like I've got a Keeley modded blues driver.
Oh, nice.
Full tone, full drive 2. I've got some chorus pedal, Line 6 DL4, the TC Electronics Hall of Fame reverb, which I just got, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to start
that.
using that for this one. I just have like my board is too big for me to carry anymore. Like for this project, like other projects I'm more inclined to because I use the effects, but I mostly just play clean here, and I intend at some point to start using the Hall of Fame as more of like an overdrive, even though it's not at all. But like when I need to like spread space for my guitar sound to still have it clean, just kick on some extra reverb to widen the sound instead of actually distorting it or boosting the volume.
Yeah.
I think
I've seen that before.
I'm excited to try that out.
Yeah.
So.
What about lead guitar? Oh no! Wait! Keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
So the main one I play is a Nord Electro 5.
I don't know anything about keyboards, but it sounded pretty badass.
Yeah, it does. It does basically everything I would say really well, and it's very portable. I can't really say anything against it. It doesn't have any synth really. It has a sample synth, but it's pretty limited. But we don't use any synth for this project. And
if you wanted it, you could sample it though, right?
Yeah. The sampling capability is really cool. Like you can record anything you want basically. Take it to like the Nord sample management program that comes with, or you can download it on Nord.com even, but it only works on Nords to my knowledge, unless you hack it. And then you just like, it's not me. It's not me endorsing hacking it. I don't even know if you can. I'm just saying. I think it's.
If it's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, somebody could probably do it, but I think it's pretty specific to the Nord instruments. But you can just record any sound and then map it to the keyboard, and it just samples it out for you, and it's pretty impressive. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What How do you feel about not having a full keyboard? Does that bother you at all, or for what you're doing, you don't really need it?
No, I mean I'm not by any means virtuosic on the keyboard. Like I definitely use it as more of like a rhythm instrument than like trying to play out any solos or cool licks. Just facilitates the song more so than showing off any sort of skill.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me. I did think about getting the bigger one, and that was my ultimate decision. Was just like I don't need it.
Yeah. Especially if you're
save like the $600 or whatever the price difference is. I can't remember, but you get like 9 extra keys for $600.
If you wanted to, could you get like a full size keyboard that was a cheaper something? Just use it as like MIDI. Yeah, exactly.
I've never looked into that. I don't know. I know that you can. I know that you can use the Nord as a MIDI controller for like modular synths. I've seen some people do that, and it's been really cool. And that's something I might do in the future, like maybe get one of the Roland boutiques that they've been coming out with. They're only like,
I saw that actually.
I mean, they're like smaller than a shoebox, so they're pretty cool, pretty powerful. They're not as good as the real thing, but like the real things are usually like $1,000 plus, and these guys are like $300 and very small and portable. So they're very cool for what they are.
If you were looking for a synth to add to that and use that as like MIDI, I have one of those Korg bass something. It's got like just a touchpad on it.
Yeah.
And then they have like a lead and I think like a rhythm one or something like that.
Yeah, is it the Volca bass?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Those are pretty neat.
Yeah, I have that and I just hook up my regular keyboard to it through MIDI and it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
You got the mini log, which is kind of
I do have a mini log.
Synthesizer.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I think it's kind of like a...
Is that like the really tiny one? It almost is like the size of a tuner?
No, it's a 37 key Korg product, and I think it's almost like a pretty it's a powerful, great machine, but I think they got a lot of inspiration from maybe like the Sub Fatty 37 by Moog or whatever.
yeah.
I'm not sure exactly which Moog model it was, but it looks to have been kind of inspired by that at the very least.
Right, but it costs like 20%
Yeah, it's like
tag
it's
on the Sub Fatty,
$500,
right.
Oh, wow,
and
that's pretty
it's
cheap.
37 keys. It has like I think it has two oscillators, and it's 4-key 4-note polyphonic. It's really cool. The only thing I would ask for, if Korg's listening, is they should put on a latch function to hold notes so you can manipulate as you go, or add a sustain pedal option in the back. But they just came out with their I can't even remember. It's Prologue. They just came out with their Prologue, which is like the big version of this now, and it's pretty powerful.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
so-
might get one of those if I ever get $1,600 to spend on a synthesizer.
Somewhat popular for indie pop bands to go through an electro phase by around the third album. So
Yeah.
maybe that'll
Yeah.
start popping out.
We're gonna start getting the product for it now.
Yeah.
Start saving for it now, so when the third album comes out, then you'll have
We'll
it.
be ready. We hit
Yeah.
the ground running, and we don't have to
Exactly.
take a long awkward hiatus or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all cool. There's nothing wrong with the band. We're broke, so
We don't have any money, so we can't do any of
Yes,
this.
you can get our single again. It comes out Friday, and on Bandcamp you can pay whatever you want. So
Hey.
So if you want to give us $25 for it, we put a lot of time into it.
it's
true. It's
You want to give us $55?
Yeah. There will be a bidding war. We'll have an auctioneer.
There's only
really
one copy.
fast talking. Yeah, there's only one copy. Yeah, we're
It's a
taking a
Wu-Tang
page
Clan
out.
kind of
Yeah,
situation.
Wu-Tang.
What about on lead guitar? What are you rocking?
So I play a Mexican Telecaster, and I usually go through an AC-15 box, but I was running through, it's a Fender Mustang, right?
Yeah,
But-
Mustang 5 head, which
but-
it's cool for a live amp, and I do think it does emulate the tube amps pretty well.
Because I had a program for an AC-30, so
it
it sounded pretty similar to what I usually play.
It's not the real thing. For recording, I don't really use it that much. I bought it when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and I just it's not worth it to sell it because I can only get like $100-some for it or something.
yeah.
So I just hold on to it, and if I ever were to start a band or something, I'd probably use that.
Yeah.
Gets you 85% of the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was happy with it. It does sound
It
good.
sounded good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your pedals?
So today I just used the Blues driver, and then I have a Memory Man, but I don't really use it too much. I use it for like 10 seconds in this song, but that thing is really cool. I use that a lot because it has split outputs, so it can do stereo
okay.
left and right with the delay.
Nice, yeah.
So if you have two amps, it can kind of bounce back and forth, and it sounds really cool. And then it has like a neat reverse echo and looping and stuff. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know how to play guitar without it. That's why I always bring it, even though I did not need to bring it today, but I
Just in case.
I feel naked without it. So.
Yeah, what about drums? I know you didn't use your kit today, but what are you usually playing?
I'm pretty grateful that Sean's got a kit that we practice on, because my kit is just all over the place. It's kind of Frankenstein right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the hardware is from an old Pacific kit that I used to play in a pop punk garage band. So everything got really screwed up. And moving to Austin, living in that apartment life, you can't really have a kit to practice on. And I wasn't really playing regularly, so I just got a simple Pearl 500 series kit for the shells, and then just kind of Frankensteined all that hardware.
Oh, yeah.
So after messaging Sean, he's like, "Oh, we got a practice kit that we could use here." I was like, "Yes, thank you." But yeah, so in the meantime, just at home, I just have a Roland E kit. So that definitely suffices and gets in some hand action to
Practice on
warm up. Yeah,
Hand
it's,
action.
down to the action.
You play this kit live then, or?
Well, no, I mean,
No?
yeah, last time I used my Pearl kit, and
Okay.
but the floor tom rack or stand is just so wonky that halfway through the set it just started tilting down and down and down. And eventually, it was just
You're
I was like,
Way down.
I pulled it off. No one noticed it, so I think I pulled it off really well. Yeah, it was
It's a little
challenge.
acrobatic feat.
yeah, that's.
Yeah, test my coordination. Really.
What about heads? What are you?
Just some simple Evans heads.
Oh, okay.
But I really like these vintage Aquarians. Those are pretty awesome.
I was really happy with those. I used to like just whatever the regular Remo double ply heads were.
Mhm.
And then on the snare, I used to get the same one, but it had like holes all the way around it.
Oh, okay.
For, I don't know, I have one on that Black Panther, but I was doing well, my buddy was living here over the summer, and we were just experimenting with a bunch of, like, okay, that sounded bad, but we were doing different sound stuff, and we tried doing this, like, jazz project or whatever. Not really jazz, but, like, I guess bluesy jazz, and so we bought those heads.
Some blues.
Yeah, well, blues, yeah. But we bought those, and I didn't plan on keeping them on there, but I liked them a lot for like even just like regular like jamming. I liked them, and they were like super durable.
Oh yeah, they're tough.
Oh yeah, they sound
Tough skins.
really deep. They've
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
great. they've got a
Well,
great tone to 'em.
I have a single clear ply Remo heads on the bottom. I don't know what they're called, but just like the thinner one ply head, and that kept them deeper. And then I tried taking the bottom heads completely off, and that sounded really like John Bonham.
Yeah, it gets real big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was
It's a little
super
out of control though for
yeah,
recordings.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds cool though.
You need an
if you
arena
can if you
for
can
it.
do it. If you get a drummer that can play it, then yeah, it's cool in the style, but
When
not that much.
when my friend was living here, he had actually bought the John Bonham Ludwig snare, the acrylic one that's like orange, red, and clear, and that thing was awesome. The rest of the kit is still at Guitar Center, but he bought the snare from it. And that thing was so freaking loud. But yeah, that's
awesome.
that's what we're rocking on drums. What about playing live? You guys playing a lot or little?
Starting to pick up some momentum.
Yeah.
We were
You
spending a
haven't
lot
been
of-
together for that long though, right? About a year or something, you said?
Yeah, just under. We spent a lot of the last couple months recording, and we're still putting the finishing touches on this first record. So yeah, it's more recently been, in maybe the last month we've been trying to even look for shows, and so
okay,
we played a couple weeks ago, and we've got one coming up on Thursday at Swan Dive in Austin.
Okay, cool. So look out for that. Where'd you guys record at? Somewhere in Austin or?
We've been doing it at home.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
okay.
Sean's
House,
house.
yeah.
Nice.
I turned it into a studio in my garage. I think my fiance, she went like on a shopping spree and didn't really tell me that she had done it. And then one day when she did confess it, she felt really guilty, but then felt really good about confessing. And I was like, okay, well, your punishment is I get to turn the garage into a studio. So we spent double the money we should have, really. It's a two wrongs making a right kind of situation. So yeah, I just I put a wall in front of the garage door and then started
really?
sound treating the whole thing. And
Nice.
yeah, I think we're getting some pretty good stuff out of there.
What are you recording onto?
I use Ableton Live to record
Okay, cool.
onto.
Are you using like a 8-channel interface or something? Or
Yeah, I've got like a Zoom R16, which
Oh, okay,
does
yeah.
8 channels, but we don't usually use it. I mean, we
you're
actually
doing drums?
we
Sean's
used
doing-
we
yeah.
used
like 2 mics.
yeah we used 2 mics when we were recording the drums, one on
Oh,
the
really?
kick and one on the snare, and actually I took the one on the kick off. We
Really?
don't even use it. It's
Yeah.
just the one mic.
Awesome.
Almost zero. I think actually to the date 0 compression on the drums, and they
Really?
still come out
Yeah,
sounding
that sounded really,
really balanced.
It took a while to figure that out.
Yeah, we didn't get it our first time. Like first time we did it, we actually went to a studio, some friends, and it's Delano Recordings in Austin. They're super cool guys, but we just kind of like rushed through it, and we weren't paying attention to detail. So like when we got back, we ultimately like weren't very satisfied with how we were playing,
Yeah.
and so we ended up just taking on the project ourselves to do it in my garage.
That gives you a lot more when you're not paying by the hour to be able more time to be able to experiment and like
Yeah.
take
yeah,
It's more
A little less
relaxing
pressure.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you the opportunity to totally mess things up and then go, well, okay, I guess we'll do it again.
Yeah. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah, and like the stuff that we did with Delano Recording, like I mean, apart from like just kind of some playing things, like they were actually getting like a pretty hi-fi sound, and it was too nice for what we wanted. So
Really?
we were like, we need to like dirty this up a little. It's too clean for what we're going for. So we just given those two factors, we were like, we'll just try it in the garage, and like we recorded the drums and. Another time, and we were just like, oh, well, we actually still don't like this, so we tried some other miking techniques and ultimately decided
on the single mic.
the single mic just on the snare drum
What
between
mic
the two
did you
drums.
use? The 57 or?
No, it's like I can't remember who makes it, but it's kind of like Is it like the Beta 57 or 58? Like that's the Shure one that's like a little bit nicer than the. I think it's a Beta 58. Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be like a little bit nicer in like price wise than like a Beta 58. So like a little step above that.
Oh, is it? And it's powered, like you need phantom power for it?
No, it's just a dynamic. It's just just.
Sure makes it though?
No, I don't even know who the company is. It's the thing. Like, I would tell you if I knew what it was. I could tell you, but like.
But
yeah,
it's
just like
similar
some,
to that.
Yeah, it's some mic I found in college at like a local guitar shop, and I really liked how it sounded on my voice, and so I just bought it. It was like I don't know, I think it was like $160 or something like that, and I think the shop was going out of business too. Otherwise, they sold for like $220 usually.
Oh, okay.
So I bought this guy, and I kept it with me all these years. I've had it for 5 or 6 years now, I think, and it worked really well on the drums.
Just had that perfect sound we wanted.
We put a 57 on the kick, but once we went back and started mixing and stuff, it was just at that point it was too punchy, so we took the 57 out and just did a little EQ work to get a little more kick out of the one mic that was on the snare. But
did you like duplicate the tracks and like EQ them differently, or just the one track?
Just the one track.
That's awesome.
One single track with a little bit of EQ.
That's
pretty good.
That's super like old school. I like that. I actually been wanting to do a video on recording like they would have recorded something in the 50s.
Yeah.
Obviously onto the computer, but like just the one mic technique and stuff like that. It's super limiting, but like it makes you think about like every detail, and it can come out like super awesome sounding.
Yeah. The first time we had we tried a 2 mic approach. Like the first time we did it in the garage, and we put a 57 on the kick, and then I have this like Neumann U87 clone. Which sounds really good. And we were using that as an overhead, and it just didn't come out very good. Things were kind of distorted sounding, like the cymbals were just too loud, and really like this won't work. So
what preamps were you using? Just the ones in the mixer?
Yeah, the ones on the R16. And like it wasn't really bad. I'm sure somebody in a different style could have used that, but it wasn't what we were wanting. So we went back and. So yeah, we definitely started with like a 60s 2 mic approach. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about guys just being like, like the 2 mic approach, one overhead, one mic on the kick, and so we just started with that, and then just moved it closer to the snare, right on the lip, basically.
Awesome, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do for vocals? What'd you use to record that? The same mic?
We used the Neumann U87 clone for vocal work.
Do you know who makes it? Was it
Audio
Technica?
I think man, it's AA is their name. Like their initials are AA, I think. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'm just curious because I'm just a gear whore.
Let me see. It's pretty affordable, and like
I bought some clones by this company called Gauge USA. They have some 87 clones. I have 2 of them. They're awesome. I use them for overheads and vocals all the time. They're, I think they're pretty affordable too. They're like $200 or something, just for that,
It's a pretty
large diaphragm condenser.
Yeah, I got mine.
Nothing.
I can't remember what it is. It's advanced audio or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Some dude.
It wasn't GA, was it? It wasn't Golden Age?
No, I mean, I know the mic has like 2 little A's, like right around where the MXD is on this guy. It's got 2 little A's etched into it, and sorry, I can't give you more.
No, that's fine.
But it's I think
a mystery mic.
I think it's called a CM87, but like even typing in CM87 into Google won't get you to it right away because it's not very popular. But some guy on Craigslist had it for I think like $260.
Oh, okay.
I bought it for that and very pleased with it.
I'm really of the mindset of not like a lot of people in studios are really like, oh, you have to have like you need a Neumann mic or something. You need these like nice ass mics to get a good sound, but like I just bought this one, which is I think it was like only like $200 used at Sam Ash, and I just recorded Jeremy Zapata's vocals on it, and I think that it sounds better than some of the more expensive mics that I actually have. Like it depends on the project. Like you just gotta experiment with.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially in
different things.
Depends on the project and the voice you're using. Like
when
we were
100%.
at Delano Recordings, like they have a ton of great mics that we went through. I can't even think of like all that they had, but their studio, they have several mics, and like it just happened that I brought this one with me, and I was like, we'll see how it sounds, and like sang into a bunch of other mics that they had, and ultimately we all collectively, and like the guys at Delano also were just like, no, your voice sounds best through the one you brought, so we'll use it.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a little difficult to figure out exactly what's going to give you exactly the sound that you want when both are kind of a little bit nebulous. And so, yeah, having the ability to go back and redo and rework has been really effective, I think.
That's always the best part about recording by yourself is that you have all the time in the world.
Exactly.
I mean, unless you're giving yourself a deadline, but that's always...
You still have all the time in the world. When you give yourself a deadline, it's pretty artificial.
If you miss the deadline,
no
who
real
are you going to
consequences. Yeah, I mean, I cry to sleep at night every night anyways, so what's another deadline miss?
But you guys are done with that, and that's coming out soon, you said?
Yeah,
we still...
Pretty much all the tracking.
Yeah, we've got a little more guitar work to do. Because again,
I have to do all my guitar work.
we did one song.
Yeah.
So we've got like a single that is ready, and it's coming out this Friday, February 2nd. But the other was like, we had done all of the guitar work for both of us, and like all the keys, like everything was ready except for vocals. And ultimately, I just decided that like the guitar was sounding too thin, and I wanted to redo all my parts. And then we're like, damn, we should probably redo yours too, because once we got the results, we're like, this is much better. I was using like some 9-gauge strings instead of 10s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I accidentally bought 9s and I didn't think it would be that big of a difference. But then when you start recording, it's just really thin. And I think Dan was actually the first one to say like, this sounds pretty thin. And I was like, it might be better in the mix. And it wasn't better in the mix. So we swapped on some 10s, redid the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the guitar is just like so clean. And now that you have this new guitar, it sounds even better. Like we were using the Jaguar at first, but now, the latest song that we tried recording, we did with the Epiphone, and it already sounds so much better, I think. So.
It's got a way fuller sound than the Jaguar can get you. The Jaguar is great, but it's a little jangly. That's all it is thing.
And when it's just like a clean guitar with nothing else going on, it's very noticeable.
Yeah, a lot of these arrangements are pretty sparse, and so it's like it helps to have something that fills the space a little bit more.
Yeah, I noticed that your bass playing is very melodic. You have like you're really pushing the song forward instead of just filling out empty space. You know, I like that a lot.
That's been a source of there's been some compromise made. I definitely have a tendency toward overplaying, and so I think that we found a pretty good equilibrium point. But there's been a lot of discussion between me and Sean on. Playing and what to play in the context of these arrangements as well as tone, because for the most part, in projects that I've played with in the past, I've had a lot of free range over, I've been the only person really concerned with what my bass sounds like, and so, for better or for worse, and so with the context of Fertility House, where it's a style of music that's very, very different than what I'm conventionally used to playing. And so, it's been kind of a good growth experience for me as well.
Cool.
We definitely butt heads about it sometimes. It's fun. It's always for like the better of the song. Like, it's never like like an actual like aggressive thing towards one another. But it's just like I think this would fit better, and Tom will think this would fit better, and
just work it out.
And we either work it out and. I mean, we always work. We either work it out or we break up the band.
It's like this is it. There haven't been any ultimatums yet.
Yeah, so far we've always worked it out. But
No, I think it's it's helped us become better collaborators. I think.
Learning to say that this is not what I want, and without it coming across as like personal. Because as musicians, it's really easy to take any sort of like feedback that's not necessarily positive is like an attack. At least I think it can be. So like you got to learn how to have that conversation and be like, hey, it has nothing to do with like you as a person or as a musician, even so much as like it just doesn't fit in my mind, or like it could be done a little differently and it would suit the song a lot better.
Yeah, so that's another nice thing about having the no deadline home recording kind of approach is you're not in the studio and hashing out these disagreements really quickly without anyone really having a chance to sit on it or anything like that.
Exactly.
It's like, okay,
it's just historically led to some catastrophic breakups in famous bands. The bigger bands from the 60s and 70s. Studio tension's real. Yeah, so this is good because it's like, I don't think this works. And then it's like, well, I think it does. And then we'll sit on it for a few days. You're right. That didn't work at all. So let's redo it again.
Or you can record it both ways and see, listen
to
it.
A/B
you can A/B it. Exactly.
It's really nice to be able to do that as well.
Very, very helpful.
Yeah. How'd you guys record bass? Do you mic it up or just go DI?
Yeah, so I run bass through this Vox AC30 head, and then it's going through bass cabinets, but so there's no DI out on that, and so we just mic'd it up with 57, and yeah, that was pretty much the extent of it. I think we pretty much just went straight into the amp with no effects. I was splitting the signals, so running through both channels.
Okay,
But yeah, usually with like in a live setting, I'll run through a preamp and usually I have a drive pedal that's given it a little character that sort of sits as in an always on kind of way.
Yeah.
But for the recording in the studio, I think we just ran directly into it.
Yeah, which I think is also kind of where a lot of the compromise has come from, because when we play live, like we do kind of want a little bit of grit and we want it to be a little dirty. And so like that's how Tom's been prepping his stuff, is with that in mind. But then like in the studio, it's like, well, we want it to be like much cleaner.
Yeah, so you can hear.
Yeah, especially like
playing stuff and.
we're kind of amateurs at it too. So like get a clean signal coming in, and it's easier to work with.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, and like I mean the guitars are almost always clean, and if you just have like a bass guitar that's pretty driven and nothing else in the song is really overdriven, it can sound a little off. It might not gel quite as well. So. Yeah. And sometimes it does, so it really depends on just experimenting, trying it out, and seeing what we can get.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a good learning experience for recording that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, any closing thoughts? Talking here for almost an hour.
Well, we've got a few exciting things coming up.
Any shout-outs?
Yeah, so we got the single release on Friday, February 2nd. We have the show at Swan Dive on February 1st, Thursday. And so, yeah, definitely come check that out. We have a Facebook page that has all those events and all the information about the group and everything. So definitely something worth taking a look at if you guys were interested in the sounds.
And we have our first piece of merch too, which is
Yeah.
exciting for me at least.
Oh, we've got koozies.
We have koozies.
We're ordering. Yeah, we ordered koozies.
Yeah.
Dan ordered them.
They're supposed to arrive on Tuesday,
They're
so we should
pretty
have them.
cool. We're gonna be selling some koozies to keep your beverages nice and cold.
Yeah.
Nice and koozie.
Nice and koozy.
Koozies. So come get a koozie at Swan Dive on Thursday. It'll be really fun.
Yeah.
So what's on your social media? Do you have just a band Facebook or?
We've got a band Facebook, and Instagram. I can't say that I'm very good at updating the Instagram, even though I have access to it. I'm actually a really terrible photographer. I get positive feedback on that all the time. in that people are positive that I'm awful. So I should probably hand that over to maybe Dan, who is more. That's more his thing. He's much better. I've noticed. He's hella good at Photoshop too. So
We've been trying to get on the horn about fertilityhouse.com, the website, but
Nice.
believe it or not, the domain is very expensive. I think we're competing in the market of fertility clinics.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
turns
looked at the price
$2,500.
listing. Yeah, I don't know if you looked at the price listing on a fertility clinic, but they definitely there's a lot of money floating around there, and so.
yeah. So if this doesn't work out, we're gonna start a clinic.
Yeah,
Because we already have the
just as a
domain name.
fundraiser.
Did you guys ever think about doing something like through Weebly or something where it's a free website, and then that doesn't look as professional, I guess.
Sure.
If, having the fertilityhouse.weebly.com.
Yeah.
But
I think we're just gonna get creative with the with the domain.
They have like the different endings now, so you could do like fertility.house.band or something like that. Like
yeah.
it doesn't need to be a .com. It was just the .com that was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also fertility.horse, which I thought
Yeah.
is just
Fertility.
funny.
Yeah. Fertility.horse. Is that what it was?
I think we might have nixed that, or like,
Yeah.
I received a little bit of pushback when I suggested
I
that
would
one.
have been pushing for that.
Well, I think it should at least be fertilityhouse.horse. Fertility.horse is just it changes things a little.
It's kind of like a stylization of house, though, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're still hashing this
We'll get back to
Website
that.
coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, at some point it'd be cool to get a website. I guess it doesn't seem necessary at the moment.
I don't think anyone really checks out the websites. I just released my website for the studio, and I don't think people care to look at the studio website. They just want to know that you have one because that makes you look professional,
Yeah.
But I think people really get all their information from social media.
Yeah, social media stuff. Yeah, I've gone on some bands' websites that they haven't updated them in 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah,
And I'm just
exactly.
So
yeah.
that's kind of coming to my mind. What's really the point, I guess? And I guess of making us look more professional is what
That's
it does.
yeah. I think that people just want to know that you have a website.
I don't know if that's the impression we want to leave people.
Really?
That we're
sense of
professional.
sense of professionalism.
I don't want them to be
professionalism.
expecting anything that's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
No,
We just
because if
want
we
people
can't
to have-
deliver after the expectations there, then hell yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to disappoint anyone.
It's
Like,
like a-
we already do that enough in our personal lives.
Yeah, we're more of a business casual.
like a mullet kind of guy is what you're saying. Like
Tom,
Business in-
you're the only one that can pull that off right now.
But yeah, but I'd have to cut it pretty short in the front. I don't think I can.
just buzz the
do
top,
that.
man. That's-
Oh yeah, that's
Just do
easy.
Yeah.
You guys,
I can't see any downside of that. Actually.
all right, I have a razor. I mean, I'm telling you, we can do it right now. On air.
Right now, we're gonna have to get the cameras back out.
You started a new job next week too. That would be perfect. Just walk into the office
yeah.
first day with,
With just a
giant
mullet. They'll know about it.
I mean, you're in Texas.
Is
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean Texas and Austin. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can one get away with it in Texas, and two Austin, you can pretty much do whatever you want. People are like, that's fine.
Awesome. Well, you guys want to give yourselves your personal social medias a shout out, or if you don't want to, I don't know.
No,
if you guys
I
can.
mostly post things that are really stupid that you wouldn't want to read probably.
I took a cool picture of a snail. That's my cover photo on Facebook. So if you want to,
I saw that. That is
out,
really
it's,
nice.
I really want to see the
publicly
snail.
available.
I'm just saying.
It's a really
So,
nice
yeah,
snail photo.
Tom Preddy. That's I think I don't know what the domain path is, but check it out.
Anyone else, or that's just we can leave it at that?
I have my work social media accounts on my phone, so I never use social media. Really.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. My social media just kind of turned into studio stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. If you want
I
to,
mean, that's like the main reason I still have any social media stuff. One, Instagram, so I can get criticized for my photos, which is fun. Two, it's just like I want to promote my band, so I should probably have a Facebook
Yeah,
page
exactly.
so I can get in touch with people.
yeah.
I don't see much other use for it at this point. Again, I do post a lot of stupid stuff. But
I post a lot of stuff on Facebook that nobody reads.
yeah,
So
that's what it
that's,
is.
you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to check out the do you have more? We
No,
could-
it wasn't actually gonna be that funny.
I want to hear it now. I've already pulled you aside.
Yeah,
I need
with a
to
build
know.
up like this.
Yeah. This better be
Okay.
good.
I can't even remember what I was gonna say.
Oh
so-
man.
On that note, I think
What a letdown.
yeah, I'm used to it.
If you want to find the studio on Instagram, it's under CSS Studios. On Facebook at Color in the Shape of Sound Studios. Of course, here on YouTube at Color in the Shape of Sound Studios. And we just released our website, which is makes us professional now, where it's real. So you can find that at css-studios at weebly.com. So thanks for listening. Any last closing words, guys? No, that's it. Awesome. Thanks for listening.
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming all the way down from Austin.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
We'll see you later.
We'll have to get
Bye.
more gear.